Hey guys, Aperture Sound here, and this episode I am going to teach you how to master the track we made in last episode, or episode number 1. Okay, so basically the things you'll need, or the plugins you'll need is, won't need this. You will need Maximus, Fruity Limiter, and if you want, you can have this. It just helps visualize better. It's a Fruity dB meter. I think all these are in the producer edition of, sorry, I just got an email. In the producer edition of Fruity FL or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. I didn't get much sleep last night. So, anyways, let's get back to this. First of all, let's turn off all these, and I'll just show you what I did in here. Basically, what you want to do before you start anything is find your frequency bands. So you're going to click on bands, and you're going to go click on this thing here, so you can see your bands, and put this on solo. First start with low. Make sure you have all the bass or lower frequencies. You just want to tweak this so you can get all the bass. Basically what I prefer is to not hear the snare, because snare is more treble, middle end or whatever. Yeah. And that, yeah, I follow that rule, and it really does help. Middle, make sure you hear like the punch in the bass, and you also want to hear the snare and the high end. You just want to hear the super sols, like the white noisy kind of stuff. Yeah, this will kind of automatically set itself, because if you have these two perfectly right, this will just set itself. Okay, so now we're going to go to the compression side of this. So you have all these different lines, slope thingies, and you can see how there's a line up top here and a thing on down here. Basically what this is your your sound wave. And as you can see, my bass, every time my bass plays, it plays higher than the average. My average about right here. You line it up. So that means you want to keep that your average. What you want to do is you want to tweak this so this ducks and makes this like compressed, the kick, but not the average stuff. And you kind of want to make it look symmetrical. And you also want to work with the release to make sure it looks almost exactly the same, but inline version. So that's pretty good. Middle end. I didn't have to do much on here. I just saw that there's like the snare was going a little bit higher, so I just put it. Should be a little bit lower though. And then kind of mess around with this. I think this is good. Yeah, I had a problem there. I already did this all. And also make sure keep these two post and pre on the line. If you think you don't have enough high end, peak it up a little bit just to make it a little bit louder. Because like if your high end area is like down at like -20, you can pump it up. Make sure it doesn't go above -8 or -10, because then you won't have enough room for anything else. Yeah, that's what happened with my high end. If I put it down here, it's like really low. I don't know why, because like I have so many super saws, but apparently my super saws were like too much middle end, so I had to pump it up. As you can see, my kick punch was like louder than the other, so I just barely tweaked it. This should be a little bit higher. That should be good. Yeah, that's about good. That means if you pull this up more, that means you're releasing or kind of taking away the compression. Pulling it down, you're making it more compressed. So if you think it needs to be a little bit compressed, some areas, this is where this comes in. This is where you can compress what parts you want to be compressed. Very confusing. It took me 5 hours yesterday to do and learn, and I have it down pretty well. I mastered all my tracks for my new Visionaries EP, or my album. I'm not really sure what it's going to be yet, because I have some songs that I'm not happy with. Or yeah. Anyways, then you get to your master. This is kind of a very... You got to tweak this perfectly, get the most out of it. So... See how... Okay, I don't want to move this, but when... Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do YOLO. As you can see how the sine wave is not going up above. That means that is actually really good. That means it's not peaking at anywhere. It's keeping under the line because your pre is basically where 0 or like your level you want it to keep it at. If it's low, it's gonna like push it and peak it. That's like, it's hard to explain. This is like the peaking point. This is like that line. If you go anywhere above it, that's where you're gonna peak. Post, this is where you want it to be instead of there. Like, this is the pre thing. As you can see, it's a little bit lower than I like it to be. Actually not bad. But that's where kind of tweaking these go in. If you need to, might need to press a little bit more. I'm keeping at see, I said -8, -10. I'm gonna tweak this a little bit. There we go. That's that negative. You can see it kind of leveled it out a little bit more. Now I can bring it. This is where my dB meter comes in. I can actually meter when it hits that line. Oh, by the way, put compression on, and you can compress this a little bit. I just put it here and like barely compress. Tweaking and how you like it. It's also really hard for me at the moment to tweak this all because of my ears. I have really bad ears right now. My one ear is like, I cannot hear anything out of it. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then I'm just gonna make sure I'm all good. Then I have this is where Fruity Limiter comes in. Now that we finished Maximus, you can turn this on. Basically what I'm doing here is making sure the ceiling, bring it down a little bit, just to make sure it doesn't go over. Doing it a little bit, because if you do it too much, it'll compress like crazy, and you do not want that. It'll make the mix very bad in dynamic range and stuff like that. As you can see, it's like down to -1, not -0, which is good. If you'd like, pull it up just a teeny. And yeah, and that's all it really does. It just makes sure I don't peak in clips. You could put a sound gooterizer, and I know sound gooderizers are terrible. People make fun of it all the time, but if you use it, it can help you make it a little bit louder. Like, I'll show you. Don't, like, this is nuts. Pull it down to, like, this, and put it on A. Yes, it compresses it by, like, very little, but it's not gonna, like, ruin your EQing and whatever it's called, or your compression. I am really tired. yeah. Don't, yes, I understand pulling that all the way up will like completely ruin like the dynamic range and everything, but pulling it just a little bit like that won't like affect it that much. You know, I'm still learning, and I think a lot of you guys are too. Maybe some producer out there is watching and he's like critiquing me. I'm okay with that because I still want to learn, but I'm just showing you guys what I know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and that's pretty much it how you master a track. And do that with anything, even a hip hop beat. Find the Maximus. Get your bands right. Go throughout the monitor thing. Make sure it doesn't peak. Compress the areas you want it to, like the snare and stuff like that. You see going higher than average. And yeah, that's basically what you do in mastering. And then pulling the master up to the point, the highest point you can. Oh god. Yeah, because it's like usually I had a mix once that was like down -8, and it sounded just like I had it without Maximus on, so I turned that on, and then I can pull it back up. So I'm compressing parts that are louder than average. Then I pull that down. That gives me space to pull the sound back up. But at the same time, it's just compressing it and making it just a lot louder without, you know, breaking the dynamic range. That's what mastering is. Pulling down. Okay, I'm saying it over again. I'm trying to get my words out because I'm still learning. But yeah, see, like right there, this is the average, and that one up. That's where I find the average and pull that down to make it equal. So then it makes room so I can pull the sound back up. That's how I want to say it. Yeah. Never move this. Never. This is like, never move that, because that is where your main level is. If you pull that up, I'll just make this thing fly. And up, yeah, you don't want that. And that's basically it. You guys learned something new. And if you think I'm being stupid in making this video and you're saying I know nothing, please tell me that, because I want to learn too. So, thank you guys for watching again. And yeah, keep producing music.